Hello, friends and knife nerds. This is the Giant Mouse GM12-S. Really, it's the GM12, which is the first button lock by Giant Mouse. But originally, the GM12 had problems with its button lock, so they recently re-released it as an S. Now, they only made 400 of them. You can kind of see in there, maybe if you have good eyes, that it says 170 out of 400. So that was the original 400, not the S model. So they then had a recall and gave everybody who ordered the original 400, the GM12. They totally redid the button lock system and gave it back to everybody, and then they loved it. So they decided to release a few more of those original 400 as just to do it, make some money. So they re-released them, and these things were retouched, and this knife is smooth. It sold out really quick, just within a few days. I believe it was a few days. I don't actually know. I know I bought this, and the next day it was sold out. But it sold out pretty quick. It is a beautiful knife. Milled titanium. That wave pattern looks great. Beautiful millwork on that titanium from Giant Mouse. I like the gold inlay touches, pivot collar, and then the back spacer looks great. It's got a nice crown spine to that back spacer, tiny little lanyard hole back there. You got all T8 hardware. Beautiful blade on this thing. Fully flat ground, stone washed with a crown spine. Super fidgety. They just did a very nice job. It's an expensive knife, so you expect them to do a great job. Now, I recently did a video where I called these three knives high-end. Now, I didn't mean like, Hinderer prices or Shirogov prices. I just meant not budget knives, $100 to $300 range. And this is a little more than that, in the just about $400 range. And you can see why with the little details here. This beautiful titanium pocket clip. It is deep carry, and it just beautifully slides over a hem. And then nice little touches like the rounding here make this a super comfortable finger choil, like amazingly comfortable finger choil. A lot of times, you don't get that rounded out here on most knives. It's just flat, which is fine, but it's those little touches are the reasons knives like this cost extra, and obviously the millwork here. And we were also dealing with CPM Magna Cut, and I mean, that's a beautiful steel. The HRC, I believe they were saying, was 63 to 64 or 62 to 64, one of those, but it is very, very nice. So the GM12-S, and the S means secure. The GM12 was the original model, 400 made, and then they had a few of these left, redid them, and then sold them, and they went pretty quick. This is just a beautiful knife, and I really wanted to show you guys. The Italians make some really beautiful hardware, and this is just a nice example of some of the beautiful quality. It just runs on brass ceramic bearings, or brass bearings, and they are super, super smooth here. And Giant Mouse, I've had a few, and unfortunately I did have a couple of problems with like my Ace Nimbus V2 and my Yacht. I had some issues with the washers, but I mean, the washers were incredible, and it was just that they were the tolerances. It doesn't take much when it comes to tolerances. They were just a hair off, and that hair off made a big deal. But, you know, that's okay. That happens sometimes, and then you return it, and you get a new one. But this is a beautiful knife, and I just was really excited to show you guys this one. Let's get some measurements. Blade length, we're looking at 3.3 inches. CPM Magna cut with pretty much a full flat grind. You can see that might be a little swedge up there, so maybe not a complete full. We got straight back design here. And then the length is 7.85 inches. Let's get a weight on this thing. It's a little heavy, not too heavy, but definitely feels over 4. Let's see what we're dealing with. 4.34. We got a chunk of titanium, friends. And the action is super fidgety. I wanted to try out their plunge lock. I wanted to see the plunge lock on a high-end knife like this. And man, did they not disappoint. They tuned it so nicely. Choose your weapon for deployment. Very comfortable knife to hold. I love a good finger choil, as you know, my friends, and this thing is perfect as far as finger choils go. It's maybe the best finger choil I've ever felt, most comfortable with that work in there. It's polished, it's smoothed, it is awesome. The reverse flick, second to none. Doesn't take much at all, just really well tuned, and you can see why when you get your hands on it, why it's such a high-end knife, why it's a little more expensive than some others. And I got some other cool high-end knives. Not high-end, I don't want to say high-end, but I just want to say, you know, $200 to $400 knives that I'm looking forward to showing you guys in the near future. Although I do love showing budget bangers. That is like my favorite thing to do. So, let's make a quick comparison here. The Shaman, the Shaman, the Showman, and the Para 3. They are, you know, there you go. It is very Shaman-sized as far as length goes. And, yeah, it's a very cool-looking knife. I want to know what you guys think. You ever had something like this? I mean, the beautiful contoured scales and just the little touches, like the rounding here. The rounding. And then, you know, you have a show side. This is the show side. It's not a reversible clip. These are sold out. You can probably get them on eBay. Maybe Blade Binge will have one. But they're not going to be cheap. But man, are they just comfortable knives to use, to have, to hold. They are fun. It is fun. So, friends, knife nerds, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you there.